Max Results, Real Life Impact Podcast. And yes, I said good evening, but I got to remind people that this is going live right now on our Carsonson Team Facebook page and on my YouTube channel. But then the recording goes on the Real Life Impact Podcast. And that's might be posted later, and you might be like, hey, it's middle of the day. So please check that out. I've started a new podcast series with short 5-10 minute clips on things that are happening, what's going on. My first one was I'm doing the 75 hard. I weighed in now. It's day 50 of the 75 hard at my lowest weight I've been since I've, coming out of college. So it's working. It's working. I'm resetting to the real body weight I probably should be at. Not that I'm, a big heavy guy or anything, but now I'm extra skinny, I guess. So that's going well. And then last episode that I just posted on the Real Life Impact page website was talking about making yourself more employable. So doing the 75 hard, I talked about mental toughness as one of the main things. Making yourself more employable is because the economy is shifting, and obviously if there's inflation, you probably need to make more money. Obviously you could cut your spending, or you can make yourself more employable. So check that one out as well. And in this episode, I'm talking about what makes somebody an expert. So one of the reasons I'm doing this, if you listen to the last expert, I'm really pushing you to listen to these podcasts. I talked about if you spend about 1 hour a day over, 5 days a week, over 5 years, you can become an expert in really anything that you desire. That extra hour, that personal, professional growth, development, putting extra time into education. But then the question really is, what really makes somebody an expert? Because I could do that and not be an expert. That's a stepping stone to being an expert. Now in real estate, obviously most people know I'm now about 20 years into the real estate business. So if I am in the real estate business and been doing this a while, does that automatically make me an expert? Maybe. It depends. If somebody has their real estate license 20 years and does a few deals here and there part-time, would you consider an expert? Depends. What do they know? How can they advise people? Are they able to help you solve problems, or maybe not? Maybe give you the wrong advice. I've had people over the years of doing this that are still in the business longer. Definitely would consider them experts. I've had some that when they do something, I'm like, this person doesn't really know what they're doing anymore. They're operating under 1987 tactics and it's 2022. Not an expert, okay? Not an expert. That's what I'm saying. So what makes somebody an expert? Certainly there's people that study things, right? They go to school, they study things, they get their job researching and studying, and that could make you an expert. You know more information than me about something. You're an expert in the topic compared to me, right? And what could that be? That could be anything. That could be a biblical scholar, right? And they studied it. That could be somebody who's an atheist scholar and they studied it and they know all this information either way, and they got all these things that they know. Does that make you an expert? Possibly. They know more information than me. I literally get a spam call every 3 minutes tonight. I don't know what's going on. Is that the case for you? That's my phone ringing. But does that make him an expert? They studied stuff. One of the things I'd like to argue or say, or at least throw out there, I think an expert's actually got to be actively doing what they're doing to really, really be an expert in most cases. So people study the economy, right? There's economists and they do the graphs and the charts and they say what's going to happen, but have they actually done anything recently? But we look at their material to make predictions, projections. Are they always right? I think we're going to see that a lot of economists are just studying other economists and trying to stay close to what the other economists say, but they maybe don't really know, are really not an expert. But there's a couple of experts, and then they're pretending to be an expert. That could be it too. I was going to mention another example, like the meteorologist who gives the weather report and the weather report changes. Are they an expert, or just somebody who got really good at being a meteorologist, does well on TV, very smiley, happy, kind of like me, very smiley and happy sometimes. And they communicate the information, but they don't have any bearing on what happens. So are they an expert or not they an expert? What makes somebody an expert? Here's the main thing why I'm getting to this. I'm raising questions. No, I don't put these out here in advance so nobody knows they're on live until I start saying, hey, I have a show. And then people would have to care if I had a show. So one of the things that I think makes somebody an expert is actually a track record of predicting things before they happen. An expert should be able to predict things before they happen. If you were a big gambler, like sports betting gambler, which I'm not, just so you know, I am not, but there's experts. You could study their picks and they could give you picks. You could even pay them money to give you picks. If they're truly experts, you would win lots of money. Do people win lots of money? Probably, but do people mostly not win that much money? No. So are they really experts, or do they just have facts that they tell you and you make a decision, and they probably do better than most people, but they're not super accurate. Otherwise, everybody would be rich paying for their service, right? But they could be somewhat of an expert, a little bit better than most people. So does that make you an expert? So here's what I'm saying. When it comes to real estate, a lot of people won't even make a prediction. Some people make a prediction way off. Like literally March 2020, when COVID started and hit, there was all kind of people, sell your properties. There's going to be all kind of foreclosures. There has literally been like 5 foreclosures since then. Not 5, but not many, because there's the moratorium. The market value went way up. But most of the people that were making predictions were like, it's going to drop. And I immediately came on and did a video and said, it's not going to drop. We'll probably see normal appreciation. It's not going to go down. And it went way up. So I was wrong. It went way up. It didn't just go a little bit, but literally 95% of people were like, it's going to drop. So at least I wasn't those people. Now, this time I'm trying to be a little more bold in my predictions on what's happening with the real estate market. And we'll see if I'm right. We'll see if then I'm really an expert, that I accurately predict, for the most part, what's coming down the pipeline, or if I'm just doing the best I can with the information I have to help people the best we can. And sometimes that's what we can do. An expert's not going to try to get you to do something you shouldn't do. An expert's going to try to help you make the decision that's right for you, knowing more than most people. That's another answer to what an expert is. But I also think very strongly an expert could actually accurately predict what happens. So there's not many experts out there is what I'm saying, especially when it comes to real estate. There's literally nobody. A lot of people say they are, and there's like 2 people, and hopefully one of them's me, and we'll find out in a few months with the predictions I'll make. And you're like, where's my predictions? Some of you have my predictions if you met with me in person, and I'll get some more predictions out there. But I'm going to leave you hanging on that. What makes somebody an expert? Really think about it. Are you working with an expert? Or you put it this way, in real estate, going forward the next few months, you should not work with somebody who's not got elevated expertise. That's 100% certain. You should not do that. They have to have some elevation of expertise, way better than most of your options. That's a tip. That's a hint. All right. You answer that question or just think about it. And you can always reach out to me. Normally, wherever I post this, you can find my information. We can see what you think. Take care. Have a good night. And thanks for listening, watching, sharing, or tagging somebody or whatever you do on this. Take care.